What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. I was gonna do a different video, but screw it. I'll do that tomorrow, probably, or something like that. What I don't get about the Colin Kaepernick situation. See, still listening to L.A.R. What I don't get is this: like, it's a lot of shit that's very hypocritical about it. You know, you got people who say, well, it's not the right time and it's not the right, it's not the right way to do it. It's always funny to hear somebody, because if a person wants to stand up for what they believe in, you know, all of a sudden we have freedom of speech. But I know, I get it. Brother got a freedom of speech, that's illegal. You know, that's what they shot Martin Luther King for, was freedom of speech. That's how Malcolm X got killed, was freedom of speech, right? You know, that's what made the country hate Muhammad Ali. Now they loved him when he couldn't talk, and and now looking back 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, oh, we was tripping. You're doing the same shit now. You know, freedom of expression, right? And the same people, you know, Rosa Parks sat on the bus, we so proud. Well, he chose not to stand up for the anthem. So, you know, for the same, in the same ballpark reasoning as them, which is standing up against oppression or sitting down against oppression, you know. But, you know, just, no, but it's not the right time. It's not the right place. And here's what I don't get. Everybody always says it's not the right time. So, okay, when's the right time? Everybody always says it's not the right place. Okay, where's the right place? Everybody always says, you know, that's not the right way to do it. Okay, well, what's the right way? You see, everybody has these, what you shouldn't do, you know, because I feel so hurt and offended type shits. But nobody says, okay, man, look, if it was done like this, we could understand. No, people get offended because they expect people to do what they want them to do. And if you are born free, which is another hypocrisy of this. You're born free. You see, a country doesn't own your existence. A country doesn't own your life. A country doesn't own your thoughts, your actions. It doesn't. But of course, we the, you know, land of the free, home of the brave, until somebody do some free shit. Then we're like, wait a minute, you can't be doing that, especially if you're black. No. It's just hypocritical. You know, the backlash is very hypocritical. Because I saw the thing with Victor Cruz, and I get Victor Cruz is a New York Giant, and they got the whole 9/11 thing going, you know. Okay, but here's what I find ironic. They got more to say about Colin Kaepernick in New York than they do to say about Josh Brown in New York, who was kicking the shit out of his wife like motherfucking Bruce Lee. But he's still playing. But Ray Rice is a problem, and you know, domestic violence is something that is not going to be taken in the national organizations of women once guys' careers over if they're a known wife beater, right? Except for when they're white, right? Okay, but whatever. Another thing I don't get is the patriotism shit. Y'all act like y'all give a fuck about the military. Y'all give a fuck about veterans? Really? You do? You sure you give a fuck about it? You don't. No, you don't. Listen, you know, people don't treat veterans properly. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, I grew up with a veteran. You know, my granddad was a veteran of the Korean War. I didn't see no love there. I got friends in the military now. Well, yeah, I got friends in the military now, friends who got out the military. Their veteran status doesn't give them a leg up. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna get into that story. People fuck with them until they find out they're veteran. Oh, my bad, we like you for your service. But you was fucking with the motherfucker right before that, and you were saying how much of a low life they was and how much they wasn't shit. And then all of a sudden when they tell you you're a veteran, okay, well, you know, you're fighting for our freedom. Like, people screw over veterans all the time. You know, But we're not going to say that. Now, for the people who, are talking about, say, it's deplorable, it's wrong to not stand up for the flag, respect the flag. What if black people just started saying some shit like, why do we have to respect just that flag? All flags matter. Oh, then they'd be, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why can't we could sit down, for all flags. The Canada flag, the Mexico flag, Jamaican flag, British flag, all flags matter. How about that? Now, the other thing that's hypocritical about that is, the dude that wrote the national anthem was not intending for that anthem to be did not have black people's best interests at heart, I think he was inferior creatures or some shit. I'm not sure if he was a slave owner necessarily, but the original version, because I think they took the slave part out of it. The original version is like, oh, so you remix the part that says we ain't shit and we slaves and shit. Okay, but guess you didn't know about that. Whatever. On top of that, I don't get the hypocrisy of some of the athletes. Why y'all coming out of the woodwork? Like, why are you motherfuckers showing up? I never understood how celebrities, the minute a brother does something, or a black person does something, brother or sister does something, all these fucking celebrities and teammates and other athletes, they're at the podium, they got shit to say. White boy do some shit, but then the media doesn't even ask the questions either, So it's a double-edged sword, because he could be and this is a big issue. Why is this such a big issue? This is what I want to know. Why is this such a big issue? We're going to run him out of the NFL because he makes a lot of money. Do you realize how many rich black people make a lot of money and their family got to go through shit because y'all don't know that they're related to these other rich people? You don't know how many times people's brothers, people's parents, people's siblings, people's grandparents, people's extended family that they grew up with, people's friends have gotten shitted on by American society while they're this famous black athlete or entertainer that you always want to entertain you so much, because that's their job to make you feel better about your life. Y'all don't say nothing when the police kick their family members' ass. Y'all don't say nothing when people throw shit at them and call them niggas at the games. Y'all don't know, how many black players, parents have been sitting in the game while motherfuckers been hurling racial epithets about their child, not knowing that that's their child, or their a family member or a husband, or a wife or children. Y'all don't say shit about that. Y'all not patriotic about that shit though. Sorry, and the other thing about the patriotism is crazy. It's because a lot of y'all don't stand up for nothing. A lot of y'all stand up for racism. I take that back. Dylan Roof had a picture burning a motherfucking flag, and y'all sent that motherfucking money after he killed 9 people in the church. The fuck is you talking about? Y'all actually call people, y'all actually let these fucking terrorists, the Bundys, be terrorists and take over a goddamn federal building, and because it's patriotic. Y'all didn't even call them terrorists. Y'all didn't say they weren't patriotic. Y'all didn't give a fuck. Timothy McVeigh blew up a fucking government building. Not considered unpatriotic. No. Y'all do all kinds of shit. fuck are y'all? I mean, only it's not about the flag. I know it's not about the flag. It's about the idea that people are freeing themselves from the mental shackles of America, and it's making people uncomfortable. Because if they free themselves from the mental shackles, your ego would just be crushed. Or what would you be able to do? You would not be able to oppress people the way you've been doing. And the biggest hypocrisy of this whole situation is this to me. Nobody addressed the issue that he said. See, I had to address all the other bullshit people were talking about, but nobody actually addressed the issue that he said, because really they never listened, because the Negro is not. And for the people that say he was raised by white people. Yeah, he was given away by a white mother too, who still never told him who his black father was. His biological mother still haven't told her own goddamn parents who his biological father was. So don't throw this shit back off white family black and black men. Because the same white people that raised him is the same type of, the white people that raised him are in the same race as the white woman that threw him away. Just saying. Because he was black. I'm just saying. We out.